The next thing I want to touch base on is /settings command. So you just type slash and then settings, press enter, and this pop-up will open, which will show you the different settings available for you to use from. So the first two rows shows different versions of Midjourney available. Since Midjourney was launched a while back, they have made exponential amount of improvements in the algorithm from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. So now we are working with 5, which is the latest version that I've selected. It does a really good job in terms of creating realistic images. As you see above, these images of human faces look very realistic. 4 does a slightly better job in terms of creating more futuristic or unrealistic images, while the other three versions are, from my perspective, obsolete. 4 and 5 does such a better job in everything that these versions are not used as much. Similarly, Niji mode is a new version that is under test mode for us to play around with, and what it does is it allows you it has a huge memory of Japanese anime characters. So if you're trying to create cartoonish or anime or comic style images, then you can switch to Niji mode as well. So this is one way of switching between versions. You can just click the version you want to use and that version will be selected, or next to your prompt you can just type this --v space 5 or whatever version you're referring to, and here you will see that happening. It adds --v next to all the prompts that we have done. MJ test is another test version that was released after version 3, but since 4, 5 and Niji does a really good job, MJ test is not that useful anymore. MJ test photo they launched after V3 because they wanted a version that does a better job with human faces, but after 5, MJ test photo is also irrelevant. So I will suggest you stick to 4, 5 and Niji mode for most of the work that you do. I will walk you through the different versions in one of the lectures and show you how they're different and what are the different features, but most of this course will be focused on 5 and 4 at times. The next thing here in this row is the quality of the image, and this is a parameter that is available in Midjourney. We will cover this in a lot more detail in the parameter section, but to give you a basic idea, this basically determines how much processing power are we going to ask Midjourney to put in to create the output image. And the more processing power we do, the better the image would be in terms of the overall composition and description added into the image. At the same time, keep in mind a higher quality means it will take more time, so it will be more time consuming, whereas half quality images will be generated much faster. Stylize is another feature available in Midjourney, which basically allows you to decide how much is the algorithm allowed to deviate from the initial prompt. So let's say if I choose a stylized value of low, my output image will be very close to the prompt that I provided. Whereas if I go with a stylized value of high, I'm basically telling the algorithm to get creative and create unique outlier cases of that prompt in terms of when it's translating it into images. Public mode and stealth mode are two other options available here. Basically, every image that you generate with Midjourney gets uploaded to their server and anybody can access the prompt in the image. If you're on the pro plan, you have the option to go into stealth mode, in which case you will be able to hide your work from others if that is something you're looking for or working on a project that you don't want to share with others. The remix mode is what allowed us to change the prompt when we upscaled it. So if you remember, when I clicked on U1, sorry, yeah, and then I clicked on make variations, this pop-up showed up, which was the remix prompt. This allows us to change anything we want in our existing prompt before we rerun it. If I switch it off, then this option will not be available. fast mode and relaxed mode, we slightly covered in the subscription part. It basically decides how much GPU speed do I want to use, a dedicated GPU speed to process my image, or I'm okay with it taking more time. Since you have a limited number of fast mode hours on all the plans, I would suggest you work mostly with the relaxed mode so that you can experiment more, and although it will take more time, but this will allow you to save your fast mode processing for later jobs when you actually want to use it. Last thing here that I can show you is the info command, which basically tells you about your subscription plan and how many hours you have used for the month. It's telling me that my fast time is 200 minutes and I've only used 94 minutes this month, and this is the date my plan is active till. One more thing I can show you here is that if you want to cancel a job, you can click on this cross emoji, which is the X emoji, and what it does is that it will delete the image completely from your Discord as well as the Midjourney server. So it's a small hack for stealth mode. If you don't want to publicize your images, you can just save it on your PC and delete it from the server by using the cross emoji. If I click on any one of these images, it will give me the option to open it in a browser. And what it essentially does is it takes the image and opens it in a new browser for us. So you see here I can see the image with its URL opened up in a new browser. I can save it into my PC now if I want and work further on it. Last thing I want to show you here is the envelope command, and if you use the envelope command on any job that you have already run, it will show you the seed number and the job ID for that specific command. This becomes handy when you want to use the seed parameter, which is another function that we will cover later in the course. One last hack I can show you is that it works pretty well with emojis too. So I can assign an emoji and it will create, let's do dog. So I can use emojis as part of my text prompt as well. And if I run this, it will actually create a photo, I believe, of something close to a dog. So as expected, because I provided a dog emoji as an input prompt, it created a few versions of the dog image for me. So in this way, in this quick lecture, I covered the info command, the settings command, and the use of different emojis and how they can play a role in creating images. From now onwards, in the next section, we're going to dive into the basics of text prompting and how powerful they can be. After that, we'll discuss the parameters and then some of the advanced parameters before we jump into some of the projects that we can create with Midjourney.